Hey guys, what's up? It's Zamara, and today I bring you one of those videos that I've been saying that I would like to produce, but at the same time I haven't been really sure or prepared. And this is going to be my first attempt at having a political discussion. Anybody who has known me for the longest time will know that I suck at social studies, particularly the political aspect of it and even the historical aspect of it. And what I mean by that is that I have met individuals who do so well at the retention of dates, events, and just associating events in such a magnificent way that I cannot help but feel jealous about it. Because you guys know that I have expressed, and I'm not sure if I have proved it, but if you know me, I've proven it, that I have a great retention myself. I have an outstanding memory. However, when it comes to history, as in facts or events that happened, I just don't. So it's like my memory is good for events that I have experienced or been exposed to, but stuff that has been written down and passed on to me, I don't retain that well. Now, if someone gives me a history lesson and it's verbal, I tend to remember it better and retain it better. Maybe it's good listening skills, I don't know. At any rate, so in this video, I'm going to be very generic. I'm going to explain the stuff that I understand, the stuff I wish I understood, and the stuff that I'm just flat out ignorant at. This year, of course, the United States is going to be electing a new president. And right now, we are in the ending stages. We are having the presidential debates officially. Last night was the first presidential debate between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And all I have to say is that the little bit that I know of these candidates and the little bit that I have seen and read and people have commented to me about, I don't feel any of them. And the reason is simple. They have both done stuff that it shouldn't be agreed with. And let me start with Hillary. Hillary and her email scandal. We all know about it. So basically, she set up a home server to be sending emails with classified information through that server. And the problem with that is that it's not as secure and safe as the government server. So she therefore committed a crime because there's a law that you have to be using government servers to be conducting government-related businesses or communications. So that puts our security at risk, and needless to say, it's a crime. And when you commit a crime and you're a public figure, that's heavily frowned upon, and it should, because if you were an average citizen, the same thing would happen to you. When you commit a crime, you experience the weight and the power of the law upon you. So my question is, why is this lady not being prosecuted or even indicted? I mean, as far as I know, they have the evidence that this crime was committed. So how is she even still a candidate and in the presidential race? I genuinely do not know nor understand that. So with this email scandal example that I have chosen, if I am missing a point or if I am wrong with something, please let me know, because I do not invest as much time with politics as I should. I'm kind of what you would define an apathetic person, and that is very bad and very wrong on my part. But when you don't do well with something, you get frustrated. I got frustrated with politics because I simply could not wrap my mind around them. Same thing with when I was learning music. For the longest time, I didn't mess with an instrument because I thought my voice was horrible. I have absolutely no coordination with musical instruments, so I just gave up. Same thing with politics. I've given up on them and spending so much time, because the more that I exposed myself to them, the more confused I felt, because I was having more questions than answers, and some questions I simply did not know how to ask. So Hillary also is just not my ideal image for a female president, to put it that way, represent me and every other woman in this country, given that she has this record of, doing bad stuff. And, I'm not going to turn this into a sexist thing. It's not about her being a woman necessarily. It's just that I wish we had a good historical precedent being set up right now. You know what I mean? It's like generations down the line, when they go back and they see that this person had been investigated by the FBI for something that they were doing, they're going to ask the same stuff I'm asking. How did this lady make it that far? And if she becomes president, how was this allowed? I also read somewhere that Obama simply did not want to be involved or have anything to do or have this scandal of this lady being prosecuted or indicted, whatever. And is it the Attorney General? I hope I'm using the proper term, but this person also doesn't want to proceed because this person was appointed by Obama. So, it's like you're covering up. It's like the situation with cops going on right now. The good cops are protecting the bad ones, like inactively protecting them by not speaking up against them. So same thing is happening in politics. Nobody wants to do what's right, and that's how we end up in this mess. All right, that's very briefly why I don't dig Hillary. Now on to Donald Trump. I'm gonna have fun with this one. Donald Trump, honestly, last night was my first time ever hearing his voice and actively listening to him for longer than 15 seconds. And the reason is because prior to that, what I had seen about him were the stuff that people post online that are memes or these short clips about, favorite quotes by him and whatever. But last night, what I liked about Hillary was that she sounded very professional, and like she had been actively involved in some of the issues she was discussing. Like, my favorite part had to be, you can talk to me about stamina after and everything that she said that she had participated in that makes her qualified to say what she said. But Donald, something that annoyed me was that even prior to watching the debate, the vibe I got from him was that he was going to be loud and interrupting and kind of like mocking type of attitude. And I was not wrong. I don't know this guy. I really haven't followed up with him. But now that I saw him for the first time on action, I was actually right. So it's like, yes, I did judge him by his cover, but I was right. So, the interruptions, they were seriously out of the line. And then he also got to demonstrate once again about what his position is when it comes to women. Like saying derogatory stuff, and they even started messing with Alicia Machado again. And I thought that we were past that chapter. Why bring the lady up? All right, she became a citizen. She's going to vote, and she's certainly not going to support your rear. But so, anytime he would try to discuss something, he would be like, oh, believe me with this, believe me with that. It's like, son, the more that you say believe me, the less likely we are to take you seriously, because you are not really presenting evidence as to why you would be the appropriate candidate for us to choose and what your plans are to tackle the issues that we have. Whereas Hillary, at least, on some stuff, I feel like she wasn't sounding like she had a plan. But for the most part, she expressed herself in a convincing way, like she knows her matters and topics. But at the same time, it's like, I'm not sure I can trust you because in the past, we have evidence that you have not been sincere. So I would like to believe everything that she's saying. I would like to believe that she genuinely wants to help us maintain families knit and jobs and, everything cool and nice that everybody wants and expects from a politician. But at the same time, it's like, lady, you already make your millions. I cannot be convinced that you genuinely are worried about, say, my status, because you just don't know me like that, and you do not spend enough time, nor do you have enough experience on the bottom end of society's ranks to know what our issues are, what our needs are, what our struggles are and challenges. And that's why neither candidate would make me feel like I can trust them. And then Donald Trump, unfortunately, many times he didn't sound very coherent to me. Like, it's even hard for me to remember something that he said that I could be like, oh, well, he has a point. He has a very strong plan. He seems like the type of person who it would be very stressful to live with because you don't want to be against anything that he says because he's going to get angry at you and very defensive. And, how can we entrust somebody whose communication skills are not the best? How can we entrust them with the national security and the military decision making and power and all that? I don't feel comfortable with that. And honestly, if I'm hitting the point right, neither should you. And at the same time, with Donald, he's sounding very angry. It's like you cannot even converse with him without his just attitude and defensive attitude and elusiveness just kicking in. I was not very pleased listening to him. Did he keep me entertained? Yes, that's for sure. But at the same time, a presidential debate, we're talking about one of the most important jobs in the country that you are applying for, and this is your interview, and you're not presenting yourself very well. So there's no way you would just convince me to vote for you. So like I said, this year, neither candidate, I'm not feeling them. They both have their massive flaws, and they both worry me to run the country, but oh well, that's what it got narrowed down to. I have no idea why or how, but this is what we have to choose from. And yeah, I think I'm going to skip choosing this candidate in my ballot. I'm not sure. I'll probably feel morally obliged to vote for someone because when I think deeply about it, I'm like, wow, the right that I have today, that I can just peacefully go to the poll and cast my vote, it's like some people in the past died for this. And I may as well choose from the least sinful of the two. But like I said, it's very hard. Like, I'm not sure who to give my vote to. I don't want to give it to Trump. I don't want to give it to Clinton. So it's like, I just wish that we could just redo all of this and be like, you know what? Nobody's feeling sure about either candidate. So let's have a restart, and I don't know. I know it's not possible, but at any rate. So yeah, you guys, that is all that I have for you right now on this matter. I hope that you can see my points and my concerns, however vaguely elaborated I made them. Like I said, I just honestly am not very good with politics. I admit it. It's hard for me to get into these discussions because I am ignorant given my lack of exposure, but at the same time, I feel like the more I try to involve myself and study this, I just don't get it. Because some stuff should be common sense, but the country is not run on common sense. It's run by numbers and strategies and diplomacy. And anybody out there who has a good retention with dates like, you know, who was involved in the War of 1812 and the Battle of this, the battle of that. You guys who remember details like that, I admire you. You must really be passionate about your social studies and history, and I admire you for that. Me, on the other hand, I get actually a little bit sad about it because I know that I was a great student. I didn't fail any of these courses, but it's like I learned the stuff I needed to learn to pass my tests, and after that, I didn't mean to forget this stuff, but some stuff just left me. And when I tried to build up from it, I just couldn't. So yeah, you guys, what are your thoughts? I would really love to read from you, your best opinions, your upbringings. Like, if you have a family that's traditionally Republican or Democrat, what made them be Republican or Democrat? Or what are the stuff that worries you and concerns you the most? And what are changes that you want to see in this country? I sure have my share of changes that I would like to see in this country, but I shall save those for another video. And yeah, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in like always. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I shall see you soon.